Hello, I'm Jamie Shibley, CEO of the Expressory. Today, I want to dive into the strategy of community building that we've been discussing. Um, as we've shared, the benefits of having a community for your brand, a place for your consumers, your customers, your leads, for people to belong, right, is really, the benefits are really priceless. Um, when you do this right, there's so much power in that because you're creating this engagement among the members. It becomes self-sustaining. You're learning from it. You're getting word of mouth, referrals. It is really what keeps your brand relevant. But today, I want to dive into how you can really get that community to flourish as you're beginning to set this up. What does it take to create that thriving community? And part of this will come from sharing some personal experience. But part of this, I want to share some insights from another book that I've read. And I may have talked about this before. It's called The Power of Moments by Chip and Dan. And in it, they too refer to, in order to establish a community, you need to have a shared sense of purpose, right? Why are people coming together around your brand? What's the bigger purpose? Because that's what really brings people together. At the Expressory, we've created a community around our monthly Q&As for people to come together and discuss strategy. I'm having a hard time talking today. To discuss strategies and tactics related to relationship building, related to generating strategic engagement, right? Because what we're seeing is that greater purpose of, if we're doing this right in business, we are having an impact on societal's well-being, because we are creating this space where people feel more connected. There's a lot of isolation right now. And again, this is one of the reasons why creating a community for your brand is so powerful right now. The timing is perfect. Okay, so in this book, along with making sure that you have a shared sense of purpose, the other thing that the authors suggest is that you need to have these moments of synchronicity as well. And to talk to you about what that means, they shared an example of some research. So this man named Robert Provine and his assistants went out to colleges, and they studied why people laugh. What makes people laugh? And they did this by just being around and noticing, when people laugh, what is the statement that happened right before that person laughed? Okay, so throughout all their study, when they really dug into it, what they found is that 20% of the comments that made people laugh were not even funny at all. They were just basic statements. So why did they laugh? Well, what the authors suggest is that we do this. We laugh because we want to belong, right? We're looking for social cues. Do you feel the way I feel? Are you hearing what I'm hearing? And are your reactions like mine? Do they match? Right? Am I in the right place? And so having a shared sense of purpose is one thing. And then as we gather, people are looking at these social cues to make sure they're in the right place with one another. So now I want to share a personal example of how this can be applied to your own community building. And I'm telling you, your community is also, your workplace, your team, your culture. So back before the pandemic, I was the leader for a women's business organization, and it was local to our area here in Wisconsin. And we were growing fast. I mean, I was running this for 3 years, and at any given meeting, we'd have 80 to 100 people present. And if you look at the shared purpose, right, it was to help one another in business and rise together. Business is challenging. We have our ups and downs, but this was a community where you could come together, you could share those challenges, have those conversations, and celebrate those wins. So one of the things that, as a leader and natural to who I am, is I always have a tendency to make sure I'm acknowledging, I'm celebrating. Um, and so whenever when someone joined, you would receive a welcome card from me celebrating your choice to join the community. And on any given event in person, I was always bringing gifts or cards for particular members. And it might be a thank you for something, we did together. It might be an acknowledgement of a moment in their world. We certainly had life moments that, we were celebrating and acknowledging. And my leadership team did this as well. We were always, coming together, pulling for gifts for big life milestones. And the thing I noticed before, COVID kind of shut down these gatherings is I would come to these meetings with handfuls of cards and gifts, but I wasn't the only one. There were a number of other people who would walk in with cards and they'd be handing it out in little gift bags and they'd be looking for the people, who they were giving to. And what I'm saying is, for us, this was the synchronicity. These were these cues. I'm in the right room. You're my people. I belong here because this is what we do for each other. And so I think your tone and who you are and how you show up for your community really sets the stage for how they're going to operate and function. Because ideally, you want your community to function without your leadership. You want it to keep going, right? And we had that as a community. It was thriving. I just happened to be the face, in the room at any given moment. But my hope in sharing these stories and this whole idea of synchronicity is to spark some ideas for you as you're creating your own brands community. And you know me, I'm always happy to have additional conversation, to go through some additional ideas or talk through, what's working or not working in your own efforts. But hopefully this gives you something to consider and inspire you. Thank you for listening.